Hey there, and welcome back to Transaction Thursdays. So, if your transactions feel very chaotic, it's not you, but it is your lack of systems. So, I want to show you in this video how to streamline your systems, how to streamline your transactions so that it's not so chaotic and we can bring a little bit of calm to that chaos. Okay? All right, so step number one, we want to standardize the transaction checklist. Okay, you want to use the same checklist for every single buyer. Your process does not change from transaction to transaction. Like the checklist for most transactions, regardless of if it's residential or commercial, um, or a new build or whatever, and regardless of what state you're in, your the standardized checklist is still going to look very similar regardless. So you are still going to send out introduction emails to all parties. You are still going to collect, or not collect, but make sure that the earnest money or escrow money is turned in and however many days it's supposed to be. Make sure that any inspections are scheduled. Make sure that the appraisal's done if there is one, that the loan stuff is done. Like your checklist it's not going to vary very much. Okay. And if you have to go in and add a one-off to your checklist, so what? Have your checklist be standardized all across the board, same checklist. Every transaction needs to follow the same roadmap. And that roadmap gets you from contract to close. So you have the same roadmap for every single transaction. You need to have a transaction checklist for a buyer. You need to have a transaction checklist for a seller. Okay, because those do vary a little bit, um, even though you could still have pretty much the same thing on both. But your process doesn't change. Okay, so let's standardize the checklist. Now, step number two is using templates. If you do not have email templates or templates, I have a template library over on my website. Go over there, check it out. The link is down below. Every single email, timeline, file name, you know, every single thing it needs to have the same uh organization. Okay. It needs to have templates. Template your emails. If you send out the same email more than 2 times, there needs to be a template for it. So you can go in, one click, you're done. Okay. Not writing the same email 10 times or 15 times or 100 times. Your introduction emails, if they do not have templates, they need templates. Your introduction emails to your buyer, to your seller, to your other agent, to the attorneys, to the title companies, to the whoever you send introduction emails to, you need templates. Like, do you have any idea how much time this saves you when you can go in and click a template and you're done? You can have templates for sending or requesting earnest money receipts. You can have templates for scheduling inspections, for ordering home warranties, for whatever loan deadlines there are, or appraisal deadlines, or whatever. You can have templates for everything. Okay. Step number three is centralized communication. One system for messages, documents, and updates. Okay. I personally use a transaction management system along with a CRM system. Those are my two systems. Okay. My CRM system is a document storage system, document management system. You can do signatures, you can do all of that from there. It tells you what stage the client's in, all that kind of stuff. That's that. And my transaction management system could also be a document storage system, but we don't use it as that. So my transaction management system is for my templates, my checklists, tell me where I can look at the dashboard and it can tell me exactly where in the process my client is, what needs to be done, what's already been done, and what needs to be done or what can be done later in the future. Okay, you need a centralized communication. And if you don't have one, I offer a done for you transaction management system set up where I go in, build the system for you, complete with email templates, checklists. If you need it for the transaction, it's there. I even have a package where I can go in and put the transactions that you already have in for you. Um, that is over on my website. I'll put the link in the description below, but it's a complete built for you system. Connects to your Gmail, your Google Calendar, all of that stuff. Everything syncs together. It is a one and done kind of thing. Okay. So centralized communication, it is a must. Now, step number 4 is optional, but highly, highly recommended. That is automate. Automate everything you can. Okay. Um, just for example, when I set up a new transaction, I go in and I automate every single task that I can possibly automate. I automate for emails I schedule send emails. I automate when the earnest money is due. I know when it comes in, it can be marked off. Like I automate every single thing that I possibly can because deadlines never, ever, 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 ever need to live in your head. Okay. I once worked for a brokerage where we used a whiteboard on the wall as our transaction management system. That was when I first started. By the time I left, I had completely revamped their entire system because that did not cut it. Okay. We didn't need agents coming into the actual physical office. This was in 2021. We did not need agents coming in to the actual physical office to look at a transaction to see where it was. No, absolutely not. You need a transaction management system. You need to have the deadlines in the computer. You need to know exactly where your transaction is. You can look at a dashboard and you can know exactly where it is, what needs to be done on it. Okay? Never have document or have deadlines living in your head. I also used a spreadsheet at one point. I wouldn't recommend that either. I would recommend a transaction management system. Okay. Step number 5 is also optional, but I would recommend it because, and I wouldn't maybe use it every single week, but if you wanted to, you could. That's weekly transaction reviews. Just to try to catch issues before they become emergencies. If you have your system set up right, you have your workflows set up right, these are going to be few and far between where you actually do have to catch something that's an emergency or you have something that needs to be caught before it's an emergency. Um, you can do weekly transaction reviews though. I personally go in and review my itinerary. I would review it every day. You can go in weekly. I'd probably go in bi-weekly or monthly to review just to make sure that everything's on track for the closings for the following month. But regardless, streamlining is going to reduce so much stress. It is going to increase your capacity beyond what you ever thought possible without burnout, without overwhelm. It is going to give you time back that you wondered, where the heck does all my time go? Like that's probably what you're wondering right now is where in the world does my day go? This is where it goes. You're firefighting all day long. Now, if you want to scale your TC business, if you want to learn how to become a TC business, how to build the systems and, the non-negotiables, how to set boundaries with your agents, all of that stuff is over on my website. I have taught over 1,600 students how to start a TC business, how to scale their TC business, all the things. So head on over to the website, check out the resources. If you like this video, if it resonated with you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share it with somebody else maybe some agents or other TCs that you might know that could, learn something from this. And I will see you in the next video.